have you ever been to that party and you tasted something and you went, man, that is so good. Okay, this right here, who cooked this? You had to ask the question, who cooked this dish? I've been there. I call that my happy mouth place. Yeah, I get really happy when I taste good food. Like very few things in the world beat good cooking. Or you might have been to that corporate event, right? And you saw our wedding and you saw food displayed so beautifully. Your eyes were just so happy and you just had to grab the card. You had to ask the host, who did your meeting? Who did your wedding? It's just that, that's what we're going to be talking about today. I'm so excited to have a guest on this show. We've never had anybody from the food industry before, from the catering industry. So coming up is Ms. Dorcas Crumbley from Int'l Catering Solution. All that and more coming up. So just hang tight. Do me a favor as you wait to meet this precious, precious lady, a new colleague and friend of mine. Do me a favor and invite someone. All you have to do is tag them. If you're watching live on Facebook, tag them, putting their name in the comment section. If you're watching on YouTube, all you have to do is simply share the link. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about party. Who doesn't like a good party? But what's a party without food, y'all? We gotta have food because we gotta eat, right? A party without food is just a meeting. I'm just saying. So we're gonna be talking about the party. We're talking about the catering, and we're talking about how do you make money with that industry. If you're new here, my name is Paulette Rolle-Alesnik, and on this channel, the focus is multiple streams of income. The focus actually is finances. That is how to make extra money, how to create and develop multiple streams of income, and how to increase your wealth. That's the focus on this show, and we're excited to have Dorcas Crumbley, and she's going to talk. She's going to be sharing a lot. So please invite someone. Please, please, please share tag. I'm just kind of talking so you can get on here and you can watch the show. Let me just make sure that everybody can share, because sometimes when we're live on Facebook, they can actually, good. If you guys see that it's not public, put in the comment section so that I know. I want to make sure that you guys can share the link. I don't see it pop up just yet. Okay, I want to make sure everybody can share, everybody can tag. I want you in here. Now, let me introduce Ms. Dorcas more properly to you. Or should I wait? I'm going to wait just a second to make sure people are on here. Yes, 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 do share. Please get your friends in here. If you have ever thought about starting a food truck, if you ever thought about catering or wonder what it takes to have a catering business and do it well, this lady will be sharing some tips, just 2 or 3 nuggets on how to start your catering business, okay? Somebody said they love good food. I do too. So make sure that you get on. Also, tag someone. You might know of a young person who might be interested in the food industry. Please get them on here. I believe in mentorship. I believe in learning from people who are doing it and doing it right. Ms. Dorcas has won New Business Award for Lakeland. She is on Emerge Lakeland. In fact, every time I pop on YouTube or Facebook or Instagram, she's winning some kind of award for her amazing business practice, for her partnership skills, for catering some event. This lady has a lot to offer. So please tag your friends and get on here. Okay, let me introduce her properly, guys, because she does quite a bit, right? This company, Int'l Catering, is actually the parent company for many of the other ventures that her and her husband has. Who is this lady I'm talking about? Okay, let me tell you about Dorcas Crumbley. So established in 2017, Int'l Catering Solution is a full service catering company and total event management, and they will direct and oversee your food and beverage services for their clients. Their focus is, which I love this phrase right here, their focus on flawless execution of businesses, project, your corporate events, celebration of life, all of your special moments. I love that. Like flawless execution. That is my happy place. I love that. So whether you're having private dining events, weddings, retirement parties, family memories, family reunion gathering, all of this, they can come and they can cater. All right. The mission of Essential Catering Solution is to serve the client at the highest level of quality with a joyful heart. Isn't that amazing? So they do their best to engage clients and to bring a positive energy into the room. Their staff are trained in customer service, focused, and excellent on a whole. Are you ready to meet ladies, and the gentlemen who sneak on this show? Are you ready to meet the amazing Dorcas Crumbly? Let's put your hands together. Let's put your hands together.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show.
And who doesn't love a party, right? Who doesn't love a good time?
Who doesn't love a good party? I know I do because I love to eat. So there you go. That's me all day long. So Miss Dorcas, I'm so happy that you're on this show.
Thank you for having me.
You bet, you bet, you bet. I've been wanting to have you on for a while, but you're just running around Polk County and the other counties, just as busy as, in a good way. Every time I go online, I literally see something from the chambers of commerce or some elite, some politician. Like you really, you are like, if any politician wins anything in Polk County, any education, anybody that's up there, your name is popping up as the caterer, you're hosting the parties for the cultural people, and you're doing the elite high standards. So I'm so proud of you. So I want to start there to say congratulations for all that you're doing and representing
God
us.
be the glory. Yes, it's all God's glory. I have to thank God. I'm so blessed, and we're blessed. The company is blessed. It's our time, it's our season, and we're really fortunate. And I have no credit that's due to myself. But I give it all to God. I really do. He's really been good to us. So.
He has been, and we are seeing you are now reaping. I don't know when you start, and we're going to get into that later on, but I can tell your hard work is paying off. Mm-hmm. Now, so let's get back to why. Obviously, you cook good, right? Because people are, you can cater my event once or my party once, but I'm not going to have you back if you're not good. And I see you have repeat customers.
That's where it starts,
right?
It starts with the food.
Yes, good food. Let's just say that with good food. And I like that. So I respect what you're doing because you've earned the respect. And I don't know about the rest of the counties, but I know you're going to blow up big. But you've earned the respect in Polk County because the who's are using your services. Now I love to ask everybody who's on their way up, who's been somewhere, their why. We don't know why you do this. Why the food industry? Why did you choose to do what you do?
Well, I first went into this with the mere notion that I wanted to be in control of my destiny. I wanted to build a wealth foundation for my family. I wanted to be more established here in Lakeland, Florida, and beyond. I always had big dreams, but they weren't necessarily having a trajectory towards this per se until I graduated from grad school, and my husband suggested that I do something that I like doing, which was cooking, but I didn't really want to be in the kitchen all the time. I wasn't just that mama that wanted to be in the kitchen all the time, but I found myself in the kitchen a lot. And many people would come over to my house, and it was so funny. My sister used to literally, I swear she could smell the food through the phone, and she would call me. I would have cooked some beans or something, and she would be like, "What'd you cook tonight?" And And my husband was like, it's like clockwork. She knows exactly when you're cooking a dish.
She smells
And
it. She's got that trigger.
People. I love the gathering of people. I love people. And I like to see people happy and celebrating life in so many ways. There's so many things to celebrate. There are so many negatives that we go through and that we hear. And my sheer desire was to create happiness and joy in others by doing for others, because it gives me joy. And that's the foundation that our company is built on, is giving joy to others because it gives us joy to do for others. So and that's really the bottom line.
That's your why. And you know what? It shows. That's why your food tastes so good. Somebody says, there's this quote I read that cooking is love made visible, right? Like cooking just, it's love. It's like how people show love. Remember the movie Soul Food? When I think I watched that maybe last year and I thought about you, just sharing love. And I believe that's why you're so successful, because you want to bring joy to people through your cooking, and not just your cooking, but your catering. So, but why food? You said you like cooking, but you could have cooked in the kitchen. Why food is a full, I mean, you're full invested, girl. You got the food truck. Have you started a food truck yet?
So I need to correct that, make that a correction. So
I'm jumping ahead. I'm jumping ahead.
It's not a food truck. We are building a mobile kitchen.
That's what that is.
It is not designed to sell food out of, much as in the same way that a food truck would. A food truck would be designed for walk-up service, if you will, and traveling, and but this is literally a mobile kitchen. It is fully equipped, and it'll be licensed with Department of Business and Professional Regulation to be a mobile kitchen that's on wheels. So it's just a full kitchen on wheels.
Oh wow!
Total kitchen.
Oh wow! See, I hope you guys get that correction, because I call it a food truck. You are
you're not alone. You're not alone, because that's the first thing that comes to people's minds when you see a kitchen space on wheels. It's like, oh, you got a food truck, but it enables us to give people more insight on what it is we're really doing, and it's education. All of it's education.
I love it. I love it. She loves it. She educates. So, but what motivated you, or who was your motivator for the industry of food? That's the question I started asking. You made it a full business, and you are going full throttle. Like you started with this, and then it was this, and then it was this, and now we hear about this mobile kitchen that's coming. I went to one of your parties. So who was the motivation for the industry itself?
That was a real big question. Really see a particular individual or component or company as a motivation in the industry, but I did have a motivation as to what not to be. There's caterers everywhere. Caterers are everywhere. There's no shortage of caterers. And I didn't want to be just another caterer. I didn't want to be just another person to provide food for your party or whatever it is. You pay me, I give you food, and we call it a day, and that's it. I wanted to be more of an inspiration in people's lives. I wanted our business to succeed in an exponential way, in a succeeding way, in a domino effect. Avalanche, something that just keeps on snowballing, if you will, that touches more than just one person through a single event. We want people to remember the experience. And that was more of why I wanted to go into catering, and then create this new this nuance of catering like it had never been experienced before. I wanted people to really feel differently. Like, this isn't catering. This is something else. This is something more than just catering. Because if I couldn't do that, then I didn't see the reason for being another caterer, because there was no point. But there's plenty of caterers that are doing excellent jobs. Many before me that have gone before me, and many that will come after. But I want to be remembered as the whole experience. This was not just a caterer by any means.
Well, you are doing it because we remember you. Everywhere I go, even if I don't want to, every meeting I go to, every business, any business, anything, it's essential catering. So obviously you are doing
that. That's what we want. We want you to remember us.
Yes, you're being remembered. Now, with all that you're doing, tell us, lady, how do you balance family and business? And you're doing it so well because you never leave your children out or your hubby out. I see the vacations, I see them at events. How do you balance that? And speak to the women out there who have an interest in, I want to do business, I want to do it well, like you said, but my babies and my husband, I don't want to leave them behind. How do you do it?
It's been a process, like a learning process, because of course, when you first start a business, you're not sure how you're going to juggle, you never know what's coming. It's always, the unknown. So the element of the unknown exists all the time. And that is something that I learned. The balance I feel like started with the support of my husband first, and us really working together to figure out how we wanted to go forward, and talking to our children and asking them questions and asking them what they thought. At the time we started, I was in a lot of volunteer groups and very heavy volunteering with my children's school. So I had to literally relinquish that. It was hard. My husband actually told me, he was like, listen, they will be okay. He's not gonna be, he'll be fine. He's not gonna go through something horrible because you're not the chair of the book fair anymore. And I love their school, and I love being a part of that. But I was also very active in church, and my church, I still actually work with them as well. But I had to sort of pull back from some things. I had to learn what to say no to, and what to say yes to, because I knew that in order for the business to be more well known, I had to be out there. I had to be talking to people and asking questions. But at the same time, the family was still there. It wasn't like my family was just gonna all of a sudden disappear while I did that. My husband and I almost switched roles, and I haven't really talked too much about this, but earlier on, as my career sort of got really busy, he was more instrumental in being on the home front. And we've always had a very equal relationship ever since we started. It didn't matter who did the laundry or who cooked dinner, whoever could cook dinner, whoever could take the kids where they needed to be. I had some traveling that was needing to be done with one of the jobs I had, and he would pick up where I left off. When I leave town, he was right there getting them up to school. I'm like, you get them up earlier than when I'm home. Like, what is this? They're out to school and dressed and ready, and dinner's cooked, and they're just moving. I said, wow, y'all move like soldiers when mom's not home. Like,
there you go. That he does what he has to.
So it's always been I don't say give and take, but a give and give, because whenever we talk about things, we just fall in line. And that has been the major weight that I never had to bear, because he's picked up where I couldn't have possibly done anything in order to build this business. And now he's even more active in it as well. And the children are older. So our children are 14 and 13 and 10. So they're a lot older now than had I started when they were really young. And it's a lot harder So depending on when you start your business, that can also depend on how your balance is.
Well, you do a great job with the balance, and let's shout out to Damien. Just like snap it up on the replay. I don't know if he's on this, but thank you for supporting the ladies.
He's outside. He's waving at me.
Wait, he's outside.
He's waving. Darian might be listening. I'm not
Tell him
sure.
to jump on so he can comment. We want to hear from the guys. Shout out to you for supporting your wife. That is not always the case when somebody's building a business. All guys don't want to say, you do your thing, take care of the babies. No, it's like, girl, you can do your thing as long as you take care of these babies, right? So I want to stop and pause and say shout out to Damien, because
Darian.
our show, did I say his name right?
Darian,
I knew that. Please, okay, cut that part out so he doesn't hear that. Darian, I knew that. Because the show is about women, for women, empowering women. You know, on this show, we want to lift women up when they're doing something and they're adding value to the community. I particularly look for women who are adding the give mentality, right? Rather than, oh, take, learn about me, no. It's about women who are doing something and adding value. So thank you for supporting Darian. And we love to have men. We like to hear from them. I want to say hello to my friend Susan. She said, hello, ladies. Thank you for joining us, Miss Susan Freeborn. Joseph is on here. Please tag someone. You guys tag them. Let them know we're on with Miss Dawkins and Essential Catering. She was just sharing about the balance, how she balanced her business and family. As you guys know, if you go on Facebook and you're friends with her, she's everywhere, doing everything with the who's, yet her family is right there beside her. Such a great example of what a woman, you know, even in 2021, I think women should not leave their families behind. So let's not to forget to connect. She's on this show. She's asking for nothing. She's selling nothing. But do me a favor, check out her website, Essential Catering Solutions with an S. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, with an S.com. Check it out. You might have a graduation party, a wedding, or whatever. She does everything. It says private, according to her website, private dinners, school dinners, church dinners, weddings, political parties, non-political parties. She does it all. They do it all. So check them out or just get to know her. Her handles are on the screen, of course. If you just want to follow on social media, you can see it right there at Essential Catering Solutions. At Essential Catering Solutions. So you can find her just about everywhere on every platform possible. Susan, please tag someone. Joseph, please tag someone. Now, so we learned a bit about you and your family. I want to talk now. I want to focus strictly on your business. So there's a quote that said, and suddenly you know it's time. It's time to start something new and trust the magic to begin. Tell us, when did you this is time to begin? I don't know how long you've been in business. Oh, it says 2017. So
about
when did you know?
years.
Well, 2017, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've been there a while. When did you know within that year, this is time to start? I got to do this. I got to do this. What was it? What was that pivotal point?
It was like a year after we had started, and I was literally I'm too deep to stop now.
Oh, that's funny.
I was just so tired. We had been moving and going, and I have to thank all the people who were giving us a chance in the beginning, because that was what propelled us forward. People were like, oh, I'm going to use you just because I know you, or I'll tell someone about you. And then people would use us. We worked literally off of only referrals for the first year and months. There was zero marketing. There was zero marketing because we were just trying to keep up, with this job and then the next job and the next job. And then at that year point, I was like, is this, what you were saying? Because I remember my husband was saying, well, just try it out. And if it doesn't work, maybe a year or whatever, then you just go back to applying for jobs. And I remember having that conversation with myself, oh my God, is this a year? And do I really want to move forward? Am I viable enough to keep going? Do I stop here and come up with something else? And it was probably just, I didn't want to let other people down who were pulling for me. So I was like, I'm going to go give it one more year. And then that one more year came. And then I was like, you know what? I believe we're viable. I think we're a business that people want to see keep going. And that was about year 3. So about year 3, that's when I knew, okay, let's do this. Let's stay here. Let's keep going with it. Let's come up with new things to stay fresh. Let's be different. And that's when I started social media, because I waited to start social media.
Wow. So that's right around the time of the pandemic then. If you started in
Yes, a year before the pandemic was when I was really finding myself and in the business. I was really realizing this is it. I think this is where we need to stay, but we need to keep moving forward.
Good for you. Good for you. So now tell us about we've learned about you and how you started. Tell us more about what you offer for somebody out there who might be looking for that creme de la creme, more than a caterer, right? The food with love.
From the beginning, when you call or complete an inquiry, our inquiry form is quite different from many other caterers. I started out a lot by trolling the internet and really looking at how other caterers did things, and other food service businesses did things, other event management companies and event planners, locally and nationally and worldwide, because I didn't want to just be similar to what you've already had. And thinking outside the box requires you to research outside your box, and our immediate box is just Lakeland. So I didn't believe in looking around. I called other caterers. I would look for advice and guidance from others who've been before me, locally, nationally, internationally. So that was how we kept evolving into what we wanted to offer people. We wanted to offer the different experience, and in order to do that, we needed to start from the beginning. So once you visit our website, it's a whole different platform. It's a different palette. You're seeing things, you're seeing people, you're seeing food, and you're thinking of how you're going to be at your event as soon as you come up on our page. And then if you call, it's a conversation. It's not, okay, what do you want off of this menu? Da, 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 da. It's, what is your vision for your event? And the person, we really want to make the person on the other end feel comfortable with just kind of telling us where their head's at, if you will, because some people don't know what they need to know or don't know what they need to ask. And there again, it's an education sort of point, because they say, well, you're the professional, I don't really know. And then others believe they know, but they're not aware of what they actually need to be doing, whether it's price.
In order to ask the right question. They want to ask the right question.
Exactly. And whether it's a price or product, you don't always necessarily know what to ask for or how to ask for it. So we help people by talking them through it and letting them know, well, you know, if you wanted to go this route, based on our experience, you might want to consider. It's always a conversation. It's always a consideration. And we talk a lot amongst our team members. We have a very close-knit team that when we hang up with a client that may have a very new project or one that we don't do a whole lot or very often, we discuss it with my husband and I, our team leads, and our chef, and our catering director and some of our other staff, we get together and we talk. It's a conversation. So we like to say it starts with a conversation. Anything starts with a conversation, because that's where communication is built, and effective communication is made. So that's how.
Exactly. Well, that's wonderful. Here, let me get back on the screen. Can you see me on the screen?
No.
I know, I disappeared, didn't I?
There you go.
So that's good to know. If you have any, I guess we'll say meetings, party, what's not coming up, ladies and gentlemen, essential catering solutions.com is where you need to be. So I was going to share something, but I'm not going to do it anymore because I don't know. I think I will mess it up. If I do, I was trying to share while you were talking.
I love how flexible you are.
Oh yeah, I get to do multiple things. And let me pull it up. Let me pull it up real quick. But if you have any, if you're out there, again, please invite someone to, I need to switch over real quick. Invite someone on this show with us. We're talking to Dorcas from Essential Catering. They can cater so much for you. She can host your parties, your weddings, your corporate meetings, your non-corporate meetings, your church stuff. And like this one quote I found, I heard this a long time ago. You know, cooking good food is love made visual. So she does that, and she does it in an amazing, amazing way. So let's just get with her. Okay, Miss Dawkins. So we're going to talk about, we talked about food, we talked about some things. I want to talk about the educational component of your business, actually your industry. There might be some people on here who might say, well, I'm interested in starting a catering business with Excellent, not to compete, but that, you know, we like to educate because we believe when we add value to the world, it comes back to us in an abundant way. So let's do some education. What are some, maybe 3 or 4 steps to starting? You can choose any one. It could be that mobile truck that we call the food truck. Please forgive us. It can be, it can be the mobile truck. It can be the catering. All the things you do. First of all, for those who are just on, I think you need to repeat some of the things that you do, right? So this is Dorcas from Essential Catering Solution, and that is their parent company. But beneath that, she has multiple companies, and she's going to share with you now nuggets on how you too can start one of these companies. So why don't you share with us again, because people might miss it, the different companies you have, and then how can I get into business like this if I wanted to?
So Essential Catering Solutions is developed into a conglomerate. It is the parent company for 3 other companies. One is in development, but we've expanded, and we are expanding into a multifaceted company. We sort of started out that way with the catering / food management and event management, because we are the only caterer of its kind. We're a network caterer. I like to say that. We work within a network of other food and event purveyors. We provide, the reason we can provide, and I didn't touch on this, the reason we are able to provide such customized services for people is because we work with others. So we recognize our strengths and we recognize our weaknesses. We recognize things that we specialize in. And I see a question here: what is your most requested dish? We have several because we move across cultural and traditional food lines and event spaces, cultural spaces, and we provide virtually anything you want. We work with pastry chefs and companies that do bread, and vegan providers, vegetarian providers. If we are not specializing in that particular dish or service, we select some of the people we work with within our network, other businesses. And we also advertise for those businesses. We tell others about those businesses. A lot of people who may work together are afraid of, non-compete or people stealing business. But we see it as growing our business. We work with other people. I've always been one that recognizes.
Hold on. What is that phrase? What is that phrase you used a minute ago?
Network. We network. We work with others. We work well with others, as they say. You play well with others. We work well with others. We're not afraid to share. There's tons of clients to go around. There's never anything with us with, you're taking my client or I'm taking yours, because people move where they want to. And there's so many people to go around. No one should ever be fearful of that when they start a business. When they start a business, just start it. Just start it with your ideas and what you want to see happen. I wanted to see more working well together. I wanted to see more businesses building each other up. And I'm working on a pool to create better businesses around me, because that makes me stronger. If I have other businesses that I can depend on to provide a service that we don't necessarily do, we can simply be the coordinators and the executives of that project, but make sure that everyone else is doing it. And then
let's hold on. So let's give an idea for people who might be on this line. You want to work with other businesses also, so we can share. Give us an example of who will you work with? Like example of industries.
Like for example, we started in Catapult, which is an incubator / co-working space, and it helps new businesses, startups, to get their ideas going and their business models going, and helps them at a lower cost of overhead to get out there in the community. So we started there. I was the veteran kitchen member in Catapult. It'll be going on 5 years, February. So we had the advantage of the work with others scenario. We were able to work with Benjamin, who is the owner of Honeycomb Bread in Winter Haven. We've had the opportunity to work with Jen Smur of what is that? Born and Bread. We've worked with many others lately, more modern, and lately is Chocolate Covered. That is chocolate covered. So a lot of people like chocolate covered bacon. And
I had that. It's good. Oh my God, it's good.
We've had the pleasure of working with Sharita. We've also worked with Muffins Bakery. That's a vegan. She's a vegan baker that bakes muffins. We work with Vegetation Plant Food, who is also inside of Catapult. They're vegetarian and vegan purveyor that we use a lot to produce truly vegan foods and truly vegetarian foods. Some have no soy. These are things we don't specialize in, and we prefer to deal with the professionals who do this for a living, because it's safer and it's reliable, and it puts us in a better light if we're not trying to do everyone else's job, because we can't do it as well as them. So we work with Max at Blue Dog. He's actually going to be in the Joineries very soon, and he's a barbecue. We use local, very established companies. We use Harvest Meats a lot for our meats. We depend on professionals such as Chamberlain's to give us guidance on some of the things we should be looking for in ingredients in food. We rely a lot on others to help us get where we're trying to go.
Maybe that is why you've gotten so far so fast. This
could be. It could be. We share. It's a sharing thing, and that's what I tell any business who wants to know. Be open and ask questions. Don't be afraid to call up the CEO of a company. Don't be afraid to write an email or call the gatekeeper, as I call it, the person who gets you to the CEO and say, listen, I'm doing this project. I'm coming up with something, and I just want to know if that person would have 5 minutes to talk to me. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out and talk to people.
Yes. Okay, there's a question before we go back to the add value. There's a question: do you service any other areas?
Yes, so we're licensed for the state of Florida. So we serve the state of Florida. We've been as far as Newport Richey and further south as well. So we work everywhere. We've also been requested outside of the state, and in those cases, we have to be given enough time to get the reciprocal temporary licenses in those other states. We've done some research to understand what we would need to do for various states that we're able to cater in.
Well, you've heard it, guys. It's not just Polk County. They're in every county and in the state of Florida at least. And if you wanted to go beyond with timing, 90 days, 6 months? Can you go to like New York and if they
give us a minimum of 6 weeks? We have to have 6
that's
weeks.
Not bad. Okay, 6 weeks and they are there and I'm with them. I just want you to know I'm gonna put my apron on. And I know that you offer bar service, you offer the party. I don't know if you want to talk a bit about
Sacred Production. So that's one of the companies that we are developing. It's an entertainment and event promotions company. Okay. It's off to the side a little bit because it's completely different from what we are doing over on the Essential Catering Solutions side. A lot of people ask me, why don't you just call it, Essential Entertainment or something like that? Because we become a client of Sacred Productions because it is a separate entity. Yes, we are the parent company, but when we want to provide food at an event that we're throwing a party or entertainment, then Sacred is securing Essential Catering Solutions to provide the food.
There you go.
So that's another business. Yes, that's another stream of income. But it's designed to bring entertainment back to Lakeland that is not here, that we have to travel outside of Lakeland and leave Lakeland for. I don't know about you all, but I get tired of either Ubering because we don't want to drive and we want to have a good time, or driving over to Orlando or Tampa and seeing an improv show, or just going out to a club because we want to have a good time. We want to dance. We want to drink. We want to have some food, have a good night out. And then you've got to drive. That drive always interrupts the train of thought, for having a good time. So we're trying to bring the events and entertainment that you leave Lakeland back to Lakeland. That's our point for that.
See, you can say back because you've been here a while. I just moved here recently and I haven't found it. So
you were at our party and we had some out of towners come in and
I was going to say your party was one of the first. If I want sports, I got to go to Tampa. If I want the theater, and I was telling a friend just actually this week, I said, the people from Tampa don't even invite me out other than church. Like seriously, I only go to church. I get invited to churches. Well, let me take that back. My friend Susan on this line, she hasn't, so I take that back. Susan invites me to non-church stuff. Everybody else, it's always church.
You're going to church.
I'm like 7 days a week. Can I do something else? Can I just go to some sporting event?
Think about it. Church is just a gathering of people. So
it is.
Church can be at the club too.
I don't know about that, but I'm looking for more parties. It is the people. I'm looking to go to more parties, adult things, sporting event where we can really share our lives and have a good time. And still do the traditional as you go to church, if you call it that. So I look forward to more events, and that was fun. I got to shake my leg that night, right? And I got
more to come. More to come. We're just working with others to provide more entertainment in this community, and we're getting buy-in from the community because they're looking for it.
Good, because I remember filling out that survey for what we need. Now,
Yeah.
just really quickly, I know some of the people who would, at least three women that are part of groups that I'm a part of, Women Empowerment Group, and even one of my clients, Multiple Streams of Income client, had expressed interest in the food industry. So I said, well, Dorcas can answer some questions. I don't see any other questions, but share with us just maybe 3 or 4 steps in starting the food industry business. You can go into more. What are some main key things they will need to know if they want to break into the food industry business, particularly catering, since that's your expertise?
So catering is our foundation, and that is where we started, and that will stand the test of time. Catering
Okay.
is really, and since the pandemic, it has become more of something that people depend on. They
Right.
feel safer when someone's prepared the food and then brings it, or they can pick it up.
Right. Right.
Dining took a hit. In person dining took a hit, and a lot of restaurateurs went to catering.
Wow.
So it's it's just something that will last forever. We have
Always.
evolved, which we are never afraid of doing, is evolving and changing and adapting to the future, if you will. And we have had to do that. So we are looking now at a great opportunity that is more into food service management. Um, so where we provide food services for companies that don't do food, if that makes any sense. So for instance, a company that sees the value in serving food to either their employees or their customers, if you will, they contract someone like us to provide that food service within their establishment
Oh,
to their patrons and their employees. This has become more popular, and people have been doing it for years. Companies have been doing it for years, but it's mostly been companies just on a small basis, case by
mm-hmm.
case basis, where they said, we need to do something for our employees, or we need to add a benefit, or we need to feed them because there's nothing near here. We want them to stay here. So they bring food in,
Okay.
or they have things catered weekly. So these are for businesses that really want an established food service inside their business. We essentially move in and provide that for them so that they don't have to. It's a very nice service to have,
It
and it takes
is.
care of the employees. It enables the company to concentrate on their business and taking
That's
care of
good.
their employees. And this is one way they're able to do it. And it adds so much value. It adds so much
I
value.
think so. It shows the appreciation
Yes.
to the employees. Now, talking about employees, are you hiring? I saw on your website, join the team. Are you hiring, and or
Yes.
you have opportunities for
So
internship?
we do not do, I guess, if you will, public uh, announcements for hiring. I
Okay.
think that's probably a little weird for most people, because most people put out an announcement, hey, we're hiring. Um, and thankfully, we haven't had to.
Mhm.
People find us and people call us and they
That's
want to
good.
work with our company because they
That's
see the
good.
value and the family, and the priority in life. We
Right. Right.
prioritize life over everything, and if food or providing food service isn't giving you life and it's siphoning everything from you, then there's something wrong there. And I
Wow.
think that people recognize that, and that is why they want to work with us.
Good.
We lost 0 employees over the pandemic. We gained employees over the pandemic, and we're expanding now into a third business venture, which is providing food service for companies that want to do that. And we are
That's
hiring
good.
from within as well as through a company. So we are hiring, but we are looking very strategically. I like to say I'm building the labor pool that I would like to pull from by making us that much more competitive over other companies. I saw a lot of companies that really suffered in their staffing and in their processes and their systems since the pandemic and over the pandemic. But I believe that the pandemic also showed us where we need to think more for our employees and think, how can we make ourselves better? And it starts with how well we take care of our employees. Publix is a very good example of that. And I've often patterned a lot of my practices after them, because I feel that they get it. They understand that you have to treat your people well, or they won't treat your customers well. And the only reason we're in business is because of our customers. So in order to keep customers, we have to keep our people happy, and we have to value our people. And that's the only way to go. So we're creating that pool that the labor wants to be in. They want to be working for Essential Catering Solutions and any of the companies.
So if they want to get more information on joining your amazing team, where do they go right now?
They can go to our website and upload their resume and introduce themselves. We have a form, because we do look at resumes. We do collect them. So if they see interest in working for any of the areas, for depending on the area of the food establishment, of any of our established food service management areas inside other companies, we only hire from the area around that, so that there's no commuting and long traveling hours for our employees. So we if we're in Bartow, we will be in Bartow. If we're in Winter Haven or Plant City, we like to hire within about 10 miles within that area, so that people are not traveling.
What about summer internship for the high schoolers?
Yes, we do accept college interns, high school interns. So we have a very a varied population. We have an aging population. We love retirees because they like to work short hours. That works for catering. When it comes to walk-up food service establishments, those are longer shifts, slightly longer shifts, between 4 and 6 hours. So, but that's a full-time or part-time position that you'd want to look into. And as we start to advertise more of our various food services, then you would know more of which one you would like to mention in that form.
Gotcha. So ladies and gents, be sure it's on the screen. We're going to wrap up shortly, but be sure to connect with Ms. Dawkins at essentialcatering.solutions.com. That's the website she's talking about for part-time, full-time internship. So like she said, upload your resume, introduce yourselves, and let's see where it goes from there. She and her organization, when I tell you, they are the go-to for good food and catering in Polk County, they are. However, they do service the entire state of Florida, and even outside of Florida with enough notice, with 6 weeks notice. So whether you're listening to this live right now or on the replay, remember, they will cater your party. They are working on, like, if you follow me or me personally or anywhere on social media, you know that I am the multiple streams of income queen, and that's what I'm about. So I am always excited to see other people doing multiple streams of income like Dawkins. You know, they have the mobile kitchen coming up, and they have the party scenes that's on hold but coming soon, and catering and networking with other industries. Amazing. I love it, because we need each other to succeed, truly, and to be sustainable. But connect with them. You see their information on the screen. If you do have questions, because we do have to wrap up, I don't see any more questions right now. But if you have questions, still put it in the chat, because Ms. Dawkins will always, you can tag her and she can come back and answer these questions, or I can tag her when I see these questions.
Yeah.
This is being recorded. It will be on YouTube. It goes off of Facebook, but I keep them on YouTube. So share this information with anybody you know who might need party services or catering or have questions in the food industry.
Yeah.
She's here to answer them for you. So any last words before we close, Ms. Dawkins? We got about 5 minutes. Anything
I
you'd
just
like
want
to
to
share?
say it's a pleasure working with you. You're just as much out there in the community as me, and I see you everywhere too. And you're a lifter of others, and I appreciate you because I was literally praying a special prayer for you that you're blessed beyond measure because you're giving to others, and you're blessing us, and you're blessing me to be able to have a platform to talk to others about what we're doing. And it's kindness, and it's love, and it's courage, and it's an open heart, and giving begets giving. That's what I love to say, that because it really does, and it really pays off exponentially, and giving returns you and dividends that you could never really count. You can't really and I said this at the Emerge event. I was letting people know that you can't count how much giving has done for you, and sharing and helping others. And when people ask us, how do you do it, if I have all the time in the world, I want to try to tell them and help them avoid the pitfalls that I even had, because it's not worth going through those same pitfalls. If you can help it, you get that much farther ahead faster. And the city needs more givers, and Lakeland is flourishing, and Lakeland is doing so well with being so open to young, progressive leaders and up and coming leaders and entrepreneurs. And I'm so grateful to be here during this time in this city. This city's really grown to be a great city. And you're just awesome, and I appreciate you so much.
Oh, well, thank you. I hope all that wasn't about me, but yes, you are you're on the horizon. And Lakeland, Florida, if you're watching this from elsewhere, we live in Lakeland, Florida, and it is growing so fast. When I decided to move here, it was a town, and as soon as I decided
it was a town.
And then I decided to move, and everybody decided they were going to come and live here. I'm like, what? I'm trying to get away from the traffic of Tampa Bay, but it's here, and I do love it. It's
getting here now. The traffic.
Thanks to Amazon, we have the people we have, but it helps the business. It helps the businesses. But thank you. If you are still on the line, we appreciate each of you for coming on, and we see it as support because you could be doing something else on this Thursday night.
Thank you.
So we appreciate you coming on to hear about Essential Catering, and you can find them at essentialcatering.com. They offer solutions, guys. Solutions. Remember that word. So if you have any kind of food, any questions or problem, they will solve your problems because they have the solutions. And I have been to literally countless events now in Lakeland, in corporate, and just even small venues where I just saw Essential Catering. So they must be doing something right when everybody just uses their services. But thank you to viewers for joining us. We appreciate every week. I'll be back next week again. As I have guests, I would put the announcement out. But even when I don't have a guest lineup, I'm on here because my goal is to add value to women's lives. My goal is to teach about financial freedom, financial literacy, and multiple streams of income. So whenever you're in this space, you'll be hearing from people who are doing that in an amazing way. And we are all together, we're learning how to do it better. So stay tuned, join us next week, Thursday. And the replay will be on YouTube and Facebook. So please share it with someone you love. Again, thank you. I give you the biggest hand clap.
Thank you.
Wish you the best. Thank you for joining us, lady. Bye now.
Good night.
Good night. Bye.